Council agenda, Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, regular Township Council meeting of April 15th, 2025. Introduction, posting of notice. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing a notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on December 2nd, 2024, which remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record and the North Star Ledger on December 6, 2024. May I please ask everyone to rise for the flag salute?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let me just land with my chair.
Roll call. Mr. Hernandez.
Here.
Mr. McGrath.
Here.
Mr. Musella.
Here.
Mr. Neglia.
Here.
Mr. Karifi.
Here.
Also in attendance are Mayor James Barbario, Business Administrator Jamie Cryan, our CFO Angelica Sabatini, Township Attorney Michael Lavery, and Township Clerk Colette Madden. Council President, we have a quorum. May we begin?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Upcoming meetings, May 6th at 7 p.m. Agenda meeting, May 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m. is a regular meeting. Moving along to ordinances, second reading and public hearing. Ordinance 2025-03, ordinance to exceed the municipal appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2025 pursuant to NJSA 40A:40-45.14. Notice for ordinance 2025-03 was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, on March 31st, 2025, and introduced at the March 25th, 2025 regular meeting. Motion to accept ordinance 2025-03 be heard in its second and final reading.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez. Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Public hearing, can I get a motion to open up the public hearing for ordinance 2025-03, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Okay, so the floor is open to the public, on this ordinance only. You have 5 minutes to speak. Nick, come on up.
Simple question. Does this imply that there's going to be another tax increase because the cap is going to increase?
That your only question? Mr. Bryan?
Sorry,
You,
I wasn't,
does this imply, does this ordinance imply there's gonna be a tax
the
increase?
cap ordinance.
So the cap ordinance, it allows us to bank for the future. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there's an increase this year. It's so that you can use that money if you were to need it, you can use the bank in the future.
So the money's there.
So Nick, I can't have you ask anymore, but you can ask it again during the public hearing. Sorry, Nick. Thank you, sir. Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2025-03. Wait, who did the first motion?
Frank. Mr. Neglia. and
That was
Mr.
quick.
Musella.
All right, that was good. I like this. Don't even let me finish, but fantastic. Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that said ordinance be passed on final reading and that notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution for ordinance 2025-03, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Motion passes. At this time, we're moving along to the public session. I'd like to entertain a motion to open up the public session, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Okay, so the floor is open to the public. You have 5 minutes to speak on any matter. Please be sure to sign the book before you speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to discuss a topic that's probably going to be
unrelated to what this meeting is about tonight. Recently, there's been a lot of controversy over the commercial development and overdevelopment of land in
I'm sorry, ma'am, could I just ask you to speak a little bit closer into the mic? They can't hear you in the back.
Is it working?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay. But I'm not going to talk about pilots. I would like to take this opportunity to inquire about some land designated as public open space, specifically the Puzio Farm purchased by Parsippany in 2017 and the Cosett property purchased in 2021. These 11.1 acres of land along Knoll Road, known as the Field Fair property, are meant to be developed for recreation and parkland, but they remain dormant. The other land in question is the 7+ acres around the Jersey City Reservoir, to be designated as the Booton Reservoir Trail. Planning on this project has been ongoing since 2018. In 2021, thanks to the efforts of Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, $600,000 of federal money was secured in part to facilitate this project. But again, the land is dormant with no sign of a trail happening. Several weeks ago, I contacted Congresswoman Sherrill's office for a status report. I was informed there had been a regulatory holdup by the EPA, but that the funds will be released soon. Back in 2017, Mayor Barbario stated that his administration, quote, consistently prioritizes the preservation of historic and open space properties as important and valuable resources for this community, end quote. This is in the Parsippany focus. My question, finally, is this. When, Mayor Barbario, do you foresee Field Fair and the Booton Reservoir Trail finally being put to use for Parsippany residents? Because this seems to be ongoing for many years. Thank you.
I'll answer the question now with regards to the reservoir. In 2016, I was with the mayor of Jersey City, Stephen Fulop, myself, Finn Wentworth, and we discussed a possibility of having recreational hiking trails over there. Well, as you know, I didn't get reelected in 17, so at that point, Mayor Sariano took it over. I came back in 22, and then we had a public hearing here at the planning board. It was a complimentary hearing because they didn't have to come in front of us. Most of this lies with the county of Morris. It doesn't really lie with Parsippany. We do want to get the trails going, but we had our hearing here in Parsippany, and what's been going on, it's between the county and I guess the state, and I'll be more than willing, because one thing we couldn't do is we couldn't man it with our police force. So that's when the county actually took over. They're going to have park police there and stuff like that. You're as good as mine, and I know Finn Wentworth, if anybody knows him, he really wants to get this project on. As a world, we want to get it done as well. So I can further have my aide check with the county, Mr. Helmer, and find out where we are from here. Okay? Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one. Okay, come on up, Nick.
Nick Homiak, Hiawatha. The questions come up a couple of times about the trash nets in Troy Meadows to catch all the stormwater runoff. I happened to find this on the internet, understanding the new MS4, and apparently all municipalities are supposed to comply. They're all tier 1. So they all require these upgrades. But the part that I find interesting, and because Troy Meadows is part of our master plan, goal number 7, we're supposed to improve it, avoid inappropriate locations in the area. I showed you pictures like this before. I have 8 of them here. When something falls on the street, it gets in the storm drain, it winds up, they're called total maximum daily loads, and the total maximum daily loads going into the Troy Meadows or like off the scale. And you see these little white things? That's styrofoam. That's how much styrofoam's out there. And there are areas in the town. We have the Rockaway River, the Troy Meadows. I mean, we should be doing something to protect our water resources even before these things here. But I would like the sewer department to have a session here and explain, because the public's supposed to participate. There's even supposed to be things on a municipal website. And you think of all the churches we have in this town, well, every one of these churches should have adopted areas. They should be out there, they should be cleaning up, they should be taking inventories to all this stuff that's out there and identifying the source of all this stuff to maybe, you know, in the future eliminate it. Or if we get these trash nets, volunteer labor force to police all this stuff, and then you're moving it from one place to another. But I'd like to leave this with the mayor and ask your sewer department if they would be willing to have a public special session for this. You go down River Drive in Hiawatha, and then you go down Lake Shore Drive to Vale Road, and you see these plastic bottles. They're all ready to go down the sewer. You have these wide mouth storm drains. It's come up before. All of that stuff has to be improved. And if you're living in an area like that, it ought to dawn on you, hey, I wake up in the morning, you live by a road, there's a piece of garbage there. Pick it up. Pick it up. But it's getting to the point where it's what this phenomena is. It's all from oil derivatives, plastic, styrofoams. It's actually been declared a geographic epoch in the Anthropocene, which what we are in now, but it's called the technosphere. There's layers and layers of this stuff in the earth, the soil, and the water. And almost all of it is fossil fuel derivatives, plastics. It's called the Great Acceleration. And it really took off, the plastic and everything, after World War II in 1950. And I mean, if you don't notice it, to me, your mind, you're just blocking it out. It's all over the place. But when I found out this, I want the town to be educated and see what can be done, because we do have a lot of water resources in the town. So
30 seconds, Nick.
One final thing. When you go down to South Beverwick Avenue and the Troy Brook comes out of the Forest Pond area and you got the stone brick says Historic District, look at the way that looks. It's always a mess. That area needs more attention. That would be included in a plan like this. Or when a police officer is going through there and you say, hey, you know, it looks pretty bad. Let's get somebody here, or let's get some volunteers on the weekends or something like that. So it's got to be 360 degrees. Citizens, police, municipality, everybody has to be involved. And
Can you give that?
look at these beautiful
Can you give that to
pictures again.
Colette,
All right.
those packets?
Yeah, just give it to Colette, and then give me a copy.
And forget about the cap stuff.
Yeah, Nick, and I did bring up at the last council meeting, I think the trash net, yeah, you could go back. I think the trash nets are a worthwhile investment, but before we can get there, we have to, rectify the easement situation between wildlife and the township, and I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong, we're back to talking with the wildlife preserves?
Yeah, so what we're doing is trying to establish the easement that wasn't established, and then after that, there's some improvements I think the sewer department would like to see. But the initial step is just getting the acknowledgement of the easement, so
Yeah.
they have that now.
Can I add something or ask something?
Go ahead.
So even if, just put the easement aside, the nets, how much are they? I mean, could we even take something
I
from
think it
Clean
was
Communities?
$8,000.
8,000?
Yeah, per
Okay.
net, to cover the Troy
That whole-
Meadows
that whole area of
were,
wildlife?
where there were where the trash was piling up.
Gotcha. But thank you, Nick. I think it would be good to have like a layperson's thing on the MS4 permits. Would be useful.
Anyone else? Come on up, Mr. Clarkin.
Hi, everybody. This is a pretty simple question. I'm following up on the question about the properties that the previous questionnaire had, and what's going to happen with is it Canuck property on No Wood?
Cosset.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be just sitting there, and I happen to like hiking in the outdoors.
Well, I'll just let you finish. You got any more?
That's it. You answered the question.
Okay, the Casa, like I said, that was the last piece of property that we really wanted to get over there to have all the connectivity. Right now, we can make it passive recreation or not, but we're actually determining what we're gonna do with the building itself, because the building, I don't know if the building's even salvageable. So
It's just a house.
yeah, I know, but it's a cost too, to demolish it as well. Right,
There was some.
right now, in the past, I know they wanted to use it for recreational use, like fields. I just don't think it's conducive for that area, that if you put fields with lights in, it could create a lot of animosity over there. So I'm looking, for me personally, I live over there, passive recreation, a walking trail. That's what I'm looking to do.
All right, so it's a work in process.
Right, and that'll take a while, because we have to have our engineers involved and determine how we want to use that property, of course, with council consent.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one, I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public session, please.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
And Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Okay, the floor is closed. Moving along to budget resolutions, R 2025-96, 2025 municipal budget introduction. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution, please?
Motion?
Second. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Hernandez, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to the consent agenda. Be it resolved, all items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and uncontroversial by the Township Council, will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, approval of minutes for the agenda meeting of 3/24/25, the regular meeting of 3/18/25, and the regular meeting of 3/25/25. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes above?
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to presentations and reports. Mayor?
First, let me apologize. I have allergies and they're pretty bad today, so, but before, I'm gonna read my report first, and then before we do the budget, presentation, I'm gonna read, my budget statement into the record, but, last Saturday, on April 5th, we had the Easter Bunny here, and as you see, it was a rainy day, so we have a lot of chocolate left over. So, I'm gonna get somewhere else, so before you leave, grab a chocolate rabbit if you can. If not, I will definitely be high type 2 diabetic by the time, we end the day and the week. Also, I would like to, honor Detective Sergeant Jeffrey Peppernock, who retired. He was a very outstanding police officer in our township. We also had Patrolman Robert Smolin retire after 20 years of dedicated service. And I'll tell you, he said something that day that hit home, and, he made a comment on his speech, and I think we should all hear it. He said, you know, I'm retiring now because I only get to raise my child once. And when he said that, that hit home. Hits home for many of you that have children, and you would understand it, but he's absolutely correct. I can tell you that firsthand. Also, I do have an update on North Bevick Road. I gotta find it now. Of course, I don't have it here. Oh, here it is, yeah. So, I'm getting a lot of phone calls with regards to North Beverwick Road, the streetscape that's done. There's two phases. Phase one has been partially done. As you know, they did the sidewalks, put the new lighting in, and actually it's gonna look very nice. They haven't done the paving yet because there's been a lot of water main breaks in the area. It's an older structure in Lake Hiawatha. But, starting April 16th, the contractor will be doing sidewalks and curb repair. Some of the sidewalks and curbs were damaged over the winter. And when they're finished with the curb and sidewalks, they will begin milling and paving from Claudine to Minnehaha. And they anticipate that to take between 45 to 60 days. Then phase two will start on April 21st. The contractor will be installing water main and services for about 2 months, and then removing the construction curb and sidewalk. Finally, anticipate late summer, early fall, we will mill and pave from Minnehaha to Oswego. So about fall, hopefully in the fall, the whole project will be completed. The streetscape will enhance that area and Parsippany and Lake Hiawatha, and I think it's welcoming for the residents to pretty much have that done. So also, before I close out here, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. This, as you know, Sunday's Easter, and if you celebrate, if not, Passover, I'll wish you from the last time. But I want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a great weekend and a great Easter. And I will read my report into this, my budget statement, Council President, when we get to it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Township Council?
Sure. The Environmental Committee with young students from the hills Parsippany Hills, will be at the library from 12 to 4 to do a workshop on consumerism and waste in our fast fashion. So that's 12 to 4. And then May 10th, we are working on our pollinator garden at the library, if anybody wants to help with that. It's for education on pollinators and native garden. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Any other member from council? Okay, seeing no other member from council, moving along to the Township Attorney, Michael Lavery.
No report this evening, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Lavery. Moving along to Business Administrator Crine.
Thank you, Council President. Do you want me to do the budget now, or do you want me to do it afterwards?
You can do it now.
Okay. Thank you.
So let me read my statement first. I'm gonna read my statement before he, because it would be pretty much render useless to do it afterwards. Anyway. Thank you, Council President. Hold on. See, 2 sets of glasses. Thank you, Council President and council members. I'm excited about this budget, not only because it's the lowest increase in years and much lower than the rate of inflation and cost of living, also because it's an excellent reflection of the conservative fiscal acumen and responsibility we have demonstrated for over the past 3 years. The overall increase in the tax rate is 2.13%. The municipal portion increase is 2.22%, which is a $44.95 a month, or $59.41 a year impact, and the average residential home is assessed at $314,000. When you gave me the honor of returning as your mayor in 2022, I spoke frankly about the dire straits the town's finances were in under the past administration. Prior budgets were underfunded, overly tight, and not realistic portrayals of what was necessary to run the day-to-day operations of our town. Fixing our financial position allows us the flexibility to not only make significant and strategic investments in the areas most requested by residents, public safety, public works and paving, parks and recreation, sanitation, but also offers us the opportunity to fill vacant positions to provide our employees with the backing to support enhanced customer service efforts for our residents now and in the future. The 2025 municipal budget continues to face economic challenges similar to those all households and businesses are facing, but we are prepared and planning. I'm enthusiastic about the 2025 municipal budget because it shows our demonstrated commitment to fixing the township's finances and stopping the kick the can down the road mentality. It positions our finances very well, not only for 25, but for years to come. We are expanding our commitment to public safety with investments in equipment, software, and most importantly, manpower, by adding 10 new police officers this year. We are continuing our $300,000 investment in our volunteer squads, and we are committed to expanding our open space, parks, and recreation facilities. Despite rising costs beyond our control, we've been able to focus on regenerating more surplus to protect the township from the what-ifs and ensures a stable tax rate today and in the future. This budget shows our commitment to a growing and healthy surplus, which allowed for an increase in surplus utilization. This year, we generated the fund balance surplus to $11.8 million. Unprecedented levels in Parsippany. That's a 1,078% increase over 2021 levels. This vigilant financial management allows us to continue and expand the exceptional services our residents have come to expect while being mindful of the financial pressures they and our businesses community face. I want to thank Business Administrator Jamie Cryan, Chief Finance Officer Angelica Sabatini, our auditors, the Finance Committee made up of Council President Paul Carifi and Council Vice President Frank Neglia, this council, our department heads, and most importantly, all the residents who refuse to give into the misinformation and political half-truths. This budget is not just about numbers on paper. The proposed budget is the outcome of the strategic planning and choices my administration has made over the past 3 years to fix the mistakes of the past and invest in our people, the benefits of which are now being fully realized. I'm happy to provide the Township Council and the public with a budget that demonstrates our continued commitment to striking a balance between providing high-quality services and controlling cost. As a reminder, the municipal budget accounts for approximately 24% of your final tax bill and covers all municipal service. This includes public safety, parks and recreation, roads, solid waste and recycling, senior services, planning and engineering, and public library, and much more. I thank this Township Council and past council for partnering with me to place Parsippany amongst the financially sound municipalities in the state of New Jersey. Here are direct quotes from independent bond rating agencies that advise investors on the health and outlook of government and corporate entities. From a financial position, the township has been a strong recovery after some decline several years ago and modest impact from the pandemic. That's Moody's. The outlook revision reflects our view of the township's significantly improved finances during the past 2 fiscal years, S&P Global Ratings. It is my obligation as mayor to ensure the township is spending every dollar we have towards the needs of Parsippany residents in a responsible, efficient, and effective way. This year presented both a challenge and an opportunity to methodically review how we do things for our residents and in the future. The 2025 municipal budget is our demonstrated commitment to fixing the township finances, and like I said, stop kicking the can down the road mentality. Our finances are positioned very well not only for 25, like I said before, but for the future. I want to thank you all for your support, hard work, and partnership in making this happen. Jamie?
Thank you. Thank you, Council President, Council. So, first, I just want to acknowledge Angelica Sabatini here, who's our, excuse me, our new CFO. Like all residents, doing the budget is a difficult process for you at home, for your businesses, and for the municipality as well, especially during these challenging times. We had Len Ho, who was here, who was our CFO last year, and for the first part of this year, actually, he towards the end of last year, he left halfway through the budget process. He was very professional, and he really did the town a great benefit by staying for as long as he did until we made sure that we had someone in place, someone as qualified and as professional, and someone that we're very excited about, and Angelica Sabatini here. Working with her during this process, which was very condensed, has been great, and it shows great promise for the future of Parsippany here for our budgets. So We have, if you want to get that started, Thanks. So we're not going to take too long. It looks like there's about, 21 slides, and it looks like it's much bigger than it really is, but we're going to go through this pretty quickly. There's no doubt that we offer more and better services than any other municipality in the county, and we do that all for less than 25 cents of the tax dollar. The majority of your tax dollar, 63 cents, goes to the schools, with the remainder supporting Morris County, open space, and library initiatives. The process is, you can look at the boxes on there, and you can look at the time frames that we have here, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. The budget process does not just start with the introduction or start a month or two beforehand. It's really an ongoing process that we're looking at throughout the year. And Angelica is coming in with the fresh eyes and doing things a little bit differently than prior CFOs. But it's a great opportunity to bring fresh eyes to this process. So what we're doing with this is the budget's monitored throughout the year to ensure departments are spending within the appropriations. This budget is a result of collaboration between the administration, the council's finance committee, and all the department heads putting forth their budget. As I said earlier, through this process, we changed our CFOs, have made it a little bit more challenging, but also allowed us to focus on different things than we normally would. Want to go to the next slide? Our budget goal is to provide effective and sound leadership, enhanced customer service, and excellent community facilities for our residents that our residents can be proud of. We seek to meet the needs of our community and enrich the quality of life for all residents in a fiscally responsible manner. You can see this is about looking both short-term and long-term. So it's about fiscal responsibility, it's about minimizing the tax burden on our residents, trying to do more with less, and achieving the best value for each tax dollar, maintaining and improving quality of life for our residents, doing our best to make sure that there's no reduction in services, making sure that we're prioritizing public safety. That has been Mayor and this council's number one objective from when he got into office, building back the police department so residents can feel safe where they work and where they live, and making sure that we're setting that as our priority. And maintaining a stable tax base and tax rate, and doing our best to regenerate surplus, and making sure that we are maintaining strong financial ratings with Standard & Poor's and Moody's and any other rating agency. You want to go to the next slide? So some of the highlights from 2024 into 2025 is the surplus was replenished, as Mayor said, to $11.8 million, which is an unprecedented number in Parsippany, especially in the near past. We're back on sound financial footing. Our tax collection's over 99%. The net debt is at a little over 1% when the limit says you can go to 3.5%. We have a diverse tax base, 69% residential, right around 30% commercial and industrial, with ratable growth over the last 10 years. Tax base has increased by 75 million since 2021, and the ratable increase from 24 to 25 is $27 million. This budget has a substantial investment in public safety and making sure that we also restructured and increased staffing at the PD and DPW to make sure that we're more appropriately managing those departments. Some of the notable metrics that we can speak about from 2024, staffing up in PD to protect our residents, business, and visitors, and we're adding new officers, 10 new officers in this budget. And we added new officers last year, and you can tell that it's working. So we answered 68,010 police calls for service, which is a 12% increase over the last year, 7,700. In 2023, there was 60,000 calls. 13 catalytic converter incidents in 2024. There was 64 in 2023 and 103 in 2022. So it's a 79% decrease. So having more police on the streets is working. Residential and commercial burglaries are up slightly to 86. It was 80 in 23 and 81 in 22. But larcenies and thefts have decreased by over 9%, with 394 in 24, 434 in 2023. There was 27 stolen vehicles in 2024, which is a 25% decrease over the year before, 36 in 2023, and 43 in 2022. It's working. Building department, 3,136 applications were received, 2,457 permits issued. That's not including partials where they issue and say, I've done everything, what's going on, and then we have to tell them, no, you have to do A, B, and C, and then they redo it again, which happens very frequently. We're averaging about 10 per day. 15,332 inspections were completed. It's a daily average of 62 per day. 13,875 plan reviews completed, including re-reviews. 1,218 plan reviews correction issued. That's a big number because that means they issued and we had to do the work, put it back out, do it again. It's telling how busy it is right now. So it's a good time. We maintained over 210 miles of roads, resurfaced 6.4 miles in 2024. It's up from 23 at 5.3, and we reconstructed 3.4, which is up from 1.6 in 23. So our guiding questions that we have here as we're considering the budget is we want to look at both the short and long-term cost financials. With tools becoming more limited, make sure to look at every business decision with an eye on how much is it going to cost, where is the funding going to come from. You know, we had some issues that happened from last year's budget to this year's budget. I'm going to pass it over to Angelica to talk about that.
So some of the significant challenges that we're facing in this budget are the unfunded mandates from the state of New Jersey, including the updated affordable housing mandate, the requirement to replace galvanized pipes, and the PFAS regulations. All are significant expenditures. And then some other items that have made this budget a little bit more difficult would be the increase in health insurance. Luckily, we're seeing a much lower increase than the state of New Jersey state health benefits program. The increase in our joint insurance fund costs. Our current plan is going up over $600,000. The lagging office market, the township lost 9.61% of commercial office assessments from 2021 to 2025. This is largely due to the move to work from home since COVID. And there's always the pressure from persistent inflationary and supply chain costs issues regarding materials and goods. Specifically in this budget, we have a loss in one of our state aids, $468,000, an increase in our healthcare premiums of $755,000, which is a 6.62% increase. The increase in statutory required costs for funding pensions. This is the increase in PFRS, and the increase in our contractual costs for trash and recycling. If you add these all up, it's a $1.7 million difference from the 2024 budget. If all of these remain the same from 2024, we would have seen a decrease in tax of $150,000, which would have created no increase for the municipal portion. So this is a chart showing the rateable history from 2021 to 2025. As you can see, we've had a significant loss in the commercial assessment, to over 195 million over these 5 years. And again, this is largely due to the work from home shift.
You know, just to jump in real quickly, the 2 Gate Hall is a good example of this loss in commercial assessments. It's 400 square foot building. It was assessed for $43 million. I believe it was Deloitte that was there. They left. The owner filed an appeal. Our assessor reduced the value by 17 million grudgingly because he didn't think that it was necessary. So he lowered it to 23 million to account for, you know, losing 200 square feet of usage. He did that to avoid a drawn-out fight and to fix, you know, a more appropriate value to it. The owners put up for a worldwide auction and sold it. So it wasn't just putting it through a local realtor or anything like that. They put it up, and I believe that a couple of outlets covered that it was a worldwide auction. And that building recently sold for $18 million. So it's like that all over, and it's a testament to, you know, very professional, very experienced leadership to maintain the amount of ratables that we have seen here.
Okay, in order to answer some of these challenges, one of the major things we were able to do is use a little bit more of surplus due to the regeneration that we've seen over the last few years. We are still committed to growing a healthy surplus so that it can be used in emergencies and to support future budgets. The township's ongoing efforts to diversify revenue streams, where we looked at all of our revenues to ensure that they are carrying themselves. This includes licensing fees, facility rental fees, hotel, motel tax, and construction fees. We saw some savings from salaries and wages related to departmental personnel adjustments and retirements, and the restructuring of some departments, including the PD and DPW. And lastly, we looked to find a balance with the affordable housing litigation to ensure that we were compliant, but also ensure the township's point is being recognized. As you can see, this is how your municipal tax dollar is divided up. The municipality's portion is only 24 cents for every dollar of property tax. So what do you get for your 24.6%? Township of Parsippany offers tremendous services, including police department crossing guards, student resource officers for school safety, DPW, weekly garbage and recycling pickup, weekly bulk pickup, yard waste, fall leaf pickup, expanded yard hours, plowing and maintenance of 400 plus lane miles of roads and 26 parks. Senior citizen services, including door-to-door doctor drop-off and food shopping, senior club meet and greets, exercise classes, free income tax prep, free defensive driving courses, water, maintaining 220 miles of water main, 34 remote facilities, 18 well stations, 6 booster pumping stations, 1 seasonal interconnection with Jersey City, and 10 storage tanks. Sewage treatment, we're number 1 in number 2, 24 hours per day. Health department, including the food pantry and child health clinics, recreation and parks maintenance, construction, planning, zoning, fire safety, fire hydrants and street lights, administration, finance, elections, and records. The home mentioned above, the average assessed home of $313,000 we'll see an additional $495 per month in municipal property taxes, or less than $60 a year to support all of these services. This is an article from NJ.com. It's ranking the average property taxes for all municipalities in Morris County. As you can see, Parsippany falls in the middle, 23 out of 39 municipalities.
So basically, the bottom line is that the overall increase is 2.13, based on the county's current assessment, or current offering. Local tax increase is 2.22, which, as Mayor said earlier, it's a $59.41 annual municipal impact to the average residential home, $4.95 per month. Doing more with less, less than 25 cents of the total tax dollar funds all township services. And we, by far, have better services and more extensive services than any other municipality in the county. There's no utility surplus utilized as a result of prudent oversight. This budget fund's adding 10 police officers. We added 3 in 24. Provides a fiscally responsible framework for today and for years to come. So we're in, this again breaks it down a little bit further and shows you what the tax levy is, the percentages. So the county is a little over 9% of the tax dollar, open space about a quarter. This county, the municipality is 24.64%, library is 1.32%, local open space is 1.58%, school district is at about 62%, fire district is about 2.22%, so that gets you to the whole tax dollar. So if you look at the overall rating of 2.13, if your taxes are about $10,000, if they are $10,000, that would mean that your total extra costs for the following year will be $213. So that's a good way and an easy way to look at this. So 2.13 overall tax rate, $10,000, that puts it at 213. So if you're at 15, you can do the math. If you're at 5, you can do the math. A little bit easier. But this is a good budget. It's a tight budget. We did everything possible to make sure, and our auditor here, Valerie, is here, and thank you for all your hard work on this too. We have a great team of people and elected officials that are working very hard every day to make sure that this is as tight as possible. We are in a pretty good spot moving forward with the way that we're regenerating surplus and adding to that and making sure that the future is good. But we have challenges coming up in the future. Next year, we're going to have 4 contracts that are out of contract, that expire, that we're going to have to deal with. So the tightness of these budgets is very important to make sure that the money is staying in the hands of taxpayers. It's also important to make sure that it's not overly tight where we have to deal with issues like begging the state for extra state aid, and knowing that in this environment, we're losing and getting less from the state and less from the federal government. So it's something that we have to be wary of in the future. But, thank you to Mayor for his leadership on this, and thank you, Council President and Council Vice President, for all the efforts that you did in the Finance Committee to get this lower. When Angelica and I started this process, we were well over 3% on the municipal side, got it down to about 2.7 range, got it down to 2.59 range, and that's when we presented it to the Finance Committee. We were able to put our heads together and get it down to a 2.22, which is a very good budget in this day and age, we believe.
I just want to talk about the 10 police officers. And I don't know if it's completely 10 in the budget, but I'm sure it is. But most of that is to replace all the retiring police officers. We've had 3 retire this year. At the end of last year, we had 2, so that's 5. We're down 5. So although we got to 99 police officers, we're down to 95 now because of the retirements. So basically what happens in the budget is that right now, those salaries are in the budget, so when the new hires come in, you'll see the differential, it's much lower, and that's why we were able to do that. Because, when I was mayor the first time around, the second time around, when a police officer retires, we replace them immediately. Because if we wait, then it becomes more difficult to put them in the budget. So I just wanted to make that clear, so.
I think it funds, 5 extra, Mayor.
Yeah, that's what I think it is, yeah, so, but that's to replace the 5 that are retiring. And I just got, yesterday, another police officer came to my office to tell me he's retiring, and possibly we have 2 more retiring.
It's a great point, and we talked about this at the Finance Committee, Council President. The issues that we're dealing with, especially on the police side and the leadership side, there's a lot of unknowns of what's going to happen in the state. And from a political standpoint, like who's going to be the next governor, and what are they going to do? Are they going to cut pensions? Are they going to cut health insurance for police officers and civil servants? It's a go-to move from a lot of people, or the thought process is, you have fat cats up in, town hall and all that stuff. But we have a workforce here that is very interested in doing their absolute best. And I know you can point out 1 or 2 or an incident or 2 where you didn't experience, or someone didn't experience a positive experience with one of our employees. They are in the extreme minority. The large majority, and unfortunately it's a silent majority, of interactions with the public have been incredibly positive. And unfortunately, our employees don't get enough credit for that. And then when you hear like, oh, it's just, they're, getting this or they're getting that, and not understanding how hard that, let's say, a police officer is working, or how hard that a sanitation officer is working, or a sanitation worker is working, and all of the intense things that they have to do on a daily basis. It's a little depressing for someone like me who takes great pride in my job and the ability to serve people. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Just a
Township Clerk?
I just was going to make a couple points. First, thank you for providing us with the budget. I just got this 30 minutes ago. One of the things that I immediately noticed compared to previous budgets is that usually, and it's very helpful when I'm going through the entire document, is that there's the salaries and wages broken down by position and department. Is there any reason why that's not in this one?
It is broken down by department. It's not broken down by individual.
Yeah.
If you have any, we want to do it for, try to get you as much information as possible and get it to you as clearly as possible.
No, it's just
in time crunch. So if there's any question that you have for an individual that you want to know how much they make, it's all public information. I can get that to you, or Angelica can get that to you immediately.
Right, it's not like a specific individual, it's just a breakdown similar to every other budget that has had it. It's been very helpful as I look at the department, the performance, and the makeup. Is there a way that I can get that?
We can get any information you want, we can get you. We did this the same way that it was done, I believe it was 3 years ago. So the last 2 years was different.
Mm-hmm.
We did it the way that it had been done in the past. For expediency's sake.
Okay.
But anything that you need, just please reach out and ask.
Yeah. A couple points that, thank you for providing us with, a timely budget, and definitely, the mayor is correct. This is the lowest increase, in the last 3 years, but it is still another increase over 2%. So, my mission, in conjunction with, the council and the administration will be to go through this budget and find all of the realistic cost-saving measures that we can obtain while, providing excellent services. That would be number one. Number two, are we going to make it public that we're having a budget hearing April 29th?
We have to. So,
6:30?
yeah, we
Okay,
have to.
good.
The meeting will be published probably tomorrow.
Okay, good. And I look forward to reviewing this, going through the document, and then by the time of the budget hearing, talking about some of my findings, but thank you for the budget.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just have one thing.
Sure.
Thank you. Well done. I'm just concerned because I've been hearing about a lot of federal cuts coming down, and then they trickle down to the state.
Yeah.
Besides, some of them are like the Tax and Cuts and Jobs Act, and it even will hurt us when it comes to some of the loans or grants that we get. I know this is tight.
Yep.
Is it we just wait and see?
Yes,
Okay.
unfortunately. It's very worrisome, though.
Yes.
All these unfunded mandates from the state and federal government, and tightening, it's great for them, but it's horrible for us, because it trickles down, like you said.
Yeah, but at least we were
Somebody-
able to report some of those interests. Now we can't, we might not be able to going forward.
Yeah, like case in point,
Yeah.
the 400+ thousand that we lost in state aid this budget,
Yeah.
that's, over half a tax point. So if this is, if we're at 2%, that could have been at 1.5%.
Okay.
So it's worrisome.
And what makes it more worrisome, when I first became mayor, we got cut $1.2 million in aid from the Township, which is consolidated municipal property tax relief aid. We don't even get that anymore. And, we talk about PFAS, we talk about the copper lead rule, and guess what? Whatever grants are out there, suburban towns aren't going to see it. And we kind of know it. We're told it, and it's a shame because we have a lot to lose if we don't get some sort of grants from federal, since it's their mandates and state mandates. And we don't get, they mandate it, but we don't get any dollars.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay. Moving along to ordinances, first reading. Ordinance 2025-04, bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 2023-18, finally adopted on September 19th, 2023 by the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, to amend Section 5 therein. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on April 15th, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on May 20th, 25 at 7 p.m. prevailing time or soon thereafter, as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Bond ordinance 2025-05, bond ordinance providing for the construction of a treatment facility for public well 20R by and in the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, appropriating $5,200,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $5,200,000 bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on April 15th, 2025, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on May 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m. prevailing time or soon thereafter, as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given the opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance 2025-06, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, authorizing the township to acquire sanitary sewer access easements on portions of Block 698, Lot 15.02. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on the final, on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on April 15th, 2025, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on May 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m. prevailing time or soon thereafter, as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given the opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Can I please have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi. Yes. Motion passes. Ordinance 2025-07, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township Parsippany-Troy Hills of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 329 entitled Sewer to amend Section 5, Public Sewers and Connections. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township Parsippany-Troy Hills held on April 15, 2025, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on May 20, 2025 at 7 p.m. Prevailing time or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with a notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution, please.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance 2025-08. An ordinance of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, Morris County, New Jersey, amending Chapter 430 zoning of the Code of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on April 15th, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on May 27 p.m. prevailing time or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with a notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to the non-consent agenda, R 2025-97, authorizing a contract for the repair of raw sewerage pump number 4. Motion to approve the above resolution, please.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia. Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to approval of payroll and bills list. CFO Angelica Sabatini recommends authorization for payment. Number 1, authorizes payment of the April 25th, 2025 regular and miscellaneous payroll estimated at $1,650,000. And number 2, payment of bills from voucher list of April 15th, 2025, which is $1,569,418.34. Motion to approve the authorization for payment.
Motion?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Hernandez, seconded by Mr. Neglia. Roll call. Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia. Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
Second.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for coming.